Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cowboy Spur. I'm Blanche Harris. I'm a senior, and I'm the social media manager / podcast director.
My name is Sally Paramputo. I'm a senior and the executive editor-in-chief.
I'm Mir Mahfouz. I'm a junior, and I'm the co-sports editor.
I'm Victoria Hurdle, and I'm the student life editor.
And I'm Joanne Kim, and I'm a staff writer.
The Cowboy Spur is a weekly podcast that rotates topics around a set schedule. Discussion will focus on news, sports, entertainment, student life, and opinions, with the occasional offshoot episode where we just mess around and have fun.
Every week, we feature a story from Coppell Student Media. This week, our story of the week is Tomorrow We Will Run Faster, Stretch Out Our Arms Farther, by me. Here are the first couple lines of the story. In a sociology class the summer after my sophomore year, I learned the American dream was dead. Make sure to visit Coppell Student Media to read the rest of the story.
So I actually read your column, Sally, and I found it really interesting how you commented on how previously patriotism was viewed as something more positive, but now it kind of has a negative connotation tied to it. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So it's really interesting nowadays because if you say that you're patriotic, sometimes that meaning can be misinterpreted. It can give the idea that you're being ignorant about what's going on in the country, what the country has done, the country's history. In reality, I don't think that's the case. I think that patriotism is a very good thing as long as it doesn't go to the extremes of ignorance. I think that you can be proud of something and still acknowledge that it's not perfect. That it has a lot of work to do to be perfect, and that, don't settle for what you have, work to improve. But patriotism is loving it in the process, not just waiting for that perfect society to come about. You see it a lot with even the 4th of July. It's a day that's supposed to be celebrating the country, but a lot of times you have people say, how dare you celebrate this country when you're ignoring this and this and this. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Interesting fact about the 4th of July, it's one of 10 federal holidays.
Yeah, and one of the holidays, MLK Day, was in January was it this past Monday? I think it was this past Monday, or the Monday before that. It was the Monday before that. Yeah, that was one of the days. Are there any other holidays in January that we can remember off the top of our heads right now?
I think I saw on TV there was like a National Spouses Day. I don't know if that's an official thing, but like in the newsroom there was a National Spouses Day playing on TV. So I don't know what that was about. But I know in February coming up, there's like the whole Black History Month, which celebrates, obviously Black history.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool kind of thing where we view holidays as kind of one day. But it kind of was like a whole month where you kind of get to celebrate it. I think that's really cool. And then other holidays in February, I think February is a big holiday month because you got Valentine's Day. I mean, I know this is an official holiday, but you got Galentine's Day as well on the February 13th from Parks and Rec. And then you got Black History Month, and you got a lot of. I think we're in for a lot of holidays in February. But besides just federal holidays, I know Coppell has a lot of like local holidays that we kind of celebrate. Does anybody know of any Coppell holidays that were like we have that are coming up or just happened?
There was actually a holiday that was created in January, or I don't know if holiday is the right word, or I mean, it's Kenny Marchant Appreciation Day, so I don't know if that's considered a holiday or some other form of the word. But essentially, Kenny Marchant was a former U.S. representative for our district, and recently it was the first city council meeting of January in 2021. And the Mayor Karen Hunt, signed off on a proclamation declaring that day Kenny Marchant Appreciation Day. So there are a couple of those here and there. I know that the month before, I believe it was Nancy Yingling Appreciation Day for someone who was retiring off of I believe the city council, either the city council or the board, probably the city council. But she was retiring, and so they had signed a proclamation for that as well. So there are some more minor ones, and it's really interesting that that's the process for holidays to be established. But it's different from federal holidays to state holidays to local.
Right. I
holidays.
wonder what constitutes a federal holiday. Like, how do you get a federal holiday? Does anybody know?
I've honestly never really looked into the topic. I'd assume, I don't know. I think I've heard that MLK Day was something that like Congress was against establishing for a little while. I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly why, but didn't we do a video on this? I feel like-
Maybe. I
but
think
anyways,
we did.
I
I know
will
that
get one.
Sally's done some research on some Black History Month and how it got into, because the thing that's interesting is how how do you kind of differentiate between a day, a week, and a month. And I think, Sally, if you want to present the research that you've acquired for the podcast, you can right now.
That sounds so fancy. Well, to go to Martin Luther King Jr. Day, it's a floating Monday according to my brilliant research of Wikipedia. That's the term they used, floating Monday. So the third Monday of January is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it's kind of been established as like a day of service, but it was supposed to be to commemorate Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, which was January 15th. So that's just a little background on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. There's a lot more history that goes into it, including why, it was opposed and went back and forth. And there should be a video that I think Lily was going to make that should be coming out sometime in February for Black History Month. But on the topic of Black History Month, so I did do some research, and it was originally a week to commemorate Black history. It was a week, and so the date itself was within February, and it was supposed to cover Frederick Douglass's birthday and Abraham Lincoln's birthday by a historian named Carter G. Woodson, and this was labeled in 1926. And so it was the second week of February because Frederick Douglass was born on February 14th and Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12th. And so eventually this kind of expanded, beyond just a week. It expanded the entire month of February. And then in 1976, President Gerald Ford made Black History Month official. And so that's kind of how we are now. And it's not the only history month that we have. I mean, March is Women's History Month. There are a few more here and there, but that is Black History Month, which is, what's upcoming.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. So, okay, so now that we've kind of got the gist on how holidays are made, what kind of constitutes going into a holiday, day, week / month, thought it would be fun if we all wanted to, if we had a chance, each of us, to create a holiday. What day and okay, pick a date for the holiday. And let's just make this a 1-day thing. Let's not turn this into a week or month. Pick a date and what you want to celebrate and why.
Can we have Mira start us off? We haven't heard, actually, Mira or Victoria, either one of you. We haven't heard anything from either of you yet.
Yes, one of you guys go.
I can go. Okay, so if I were to make a holiday, it would be No Social Media Day. And it would be on, I'm just going to say August 11th because that's my birthday. So all Instagram, Twitter is shut down, and everyone has to go to their neighbor's house and talk to them and have fun and have a party. And that's the holiday. Because I feel like social media, I used to not go on it at all, like last year, but definitely during quarantine, I went on it more and more. So I just feel like everyone needs to go outside. The weather's getting good. It's spring. August 11th is in the summer. That's the day the holiday would be. So it would just be a fun day to.
You're a famous TikToker. You can't give up your main source of money.
For 1 day.
Did you come up with this like off the top of your head?
Yeah, I came up with it like while you guys were talking.
Okay, let's see. Victoria, I love that day. Mirror, top Victoria's Day. Let's see you do. Let's see you try.
I mean, I don't know if I can top it, but I think like every sporting event, like every final should get their own like holiday week. Like since the NBA and the NHL and the MLB are all 7-game series, I think the span of the 7 games should just be like off. Like nobody has anything, and everybody should just go and support their favorite team, and just like buy out all the food and buy out all the tickets and everything. And then I don't think it's like that reasonable for the 7-day thing, but I think the Super Bowl should be moved from like a Sunday to like a Wednesday, and then the Wednesday and the entire week everybody just goes crazy, like with parties and everything. I feel like that would be like it would. I think it would be the perfect week in the year.
What
I
do
don't
the
think anything
people
could
who
top that.
what do the people who aren't into sports do? Do they just like sit in their houses by themselves, like being
No,
sad?
they
You
go
make
and
food.
watch everyone else. You just watch people party. It's better than being alone at your house.
Every year, I argue that the Super Bowl is an unofficial federal holiday, and I will stand by that and support moving it to Super Bowl Wednesday to make it a real federal holiday.
Definitely needs to be a real federal holiday.
Yeah, that way we get school off. Okay, my holiday. It's gonna sound dumb. My holiday would be on April 25th. Um, uh, because of a miscongeniality quote that I'm not gonna go into, but I think it's funny. April 25th would be the holiday, and the holiday would be everybody has to watch Pride and Prejudice. It would be called P&P Day. Everybody has to watch Pride and Prejudice because I feel like everybody should experience that at least once a year.
Wait, which version? Which version?
Oh my gosh, the 2005. I'm not making people watch the 9-hour BBC version with Colin Firth. That they know, just the 2005, the nice 2.5-hour one. That's the best one, and people have opinions on that, but that's not an opinion, it's a fact. That's the best one. So everybody would have to watch it. I mean, if you want to get dressed up in Regency clothes, obviously you can. I will. And then we all go out into a field. You set up a projector in a field. And then you have like a global watch party. And you guys, there are projectors being set up in fields everywhere. And you all watch Pride and Prejudice. And you start at like 4 in the morning. And then you get at 6 in the morning. That way it's like, misty, like early morning. And you can recreate the field scene. That's would be my ideal holiday. And go Joanne.
Wait, no, wait. We need to unpack what you just said. How
No,
much
that was-
detail and thought did you put into this holiday that you would create? Because that's like whole movie projectors for like a global audience.
Well, I feel like we could definitely set that up. I feel like if you just assigned people per county or something like that to kind of organize a little county drive-in movie. And global I think is ambitious, but like when the holiday catches on, I think we could start off like state, move to national, move to global. So I think as it catches on, it'll keep going. But
Not even a federal holiday anymore. It'll be like a global celebration.
Yeah. It's like New Year's, you know what I mean? Like you can't stop the span of the new year happening. Everybody is like, okay, it's the new year. Everyone's like, okay, it's Pride and Prejudice Day. It's like becomes universally accepted. But Joanne, what's your holiday?
Oh God, mine's gonna sound so boring in comparison to you guys.
Wow.
Okay, did anyone else in like elementary school have those days where the teacher would tell you to like bring a book and like a blanket and a pillow, and they just let you like set up in their classroom and you could read all day and they'd make you hot chocolate and you'd just like chill.
Silent reading time?
Basically, but like they dedicated like an entire day to it. So I feel like if we could recreate that in like the adult and high school and college like level, so everybody can like you come into work maybe 3 or 4 hours after your usual like come in time, and you just set up your blanket and your pillow, and there's like everybody brings in baked goods and makes hot chocolate and just reads. I feel that'd be great. Nice
That makes me
relaxing time.
insanely happy. That makes me
Yeah.
insanely happy.
It'd be
Oh,
a cozy day.
what date would that be? Like month and number. What's the date?
Okay, I feel like it would be like a nice November-ish holiday when you're like getting into the cozy autumn like feel. So maybe like November 20th, because I like eating.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it has to be in the 20s because it
Yeah.
has to be in late November. I'm also changing mine because I feel let me change mine real fast. I'm changing it to June 30th. Also my birthday. I'm hopping on the Vicky train there. I feel like if it's April, there are some places where there is snow and they cannot watch a movie outside, like in Utah when it's still freezing. So I change it to midsummer. That way everybody has kind of a chance
Oh, Blanche,
to
so
do that.
thoughtful.
I know. I had to kind of do that. Okay, we're gonna end it off, last but not least, with Sally. Sally always has a good day, and she wrote down Day of the Forgotten. I'm kind of scared to see what this holiday is, but I'm excited.
Yes, so I'm very sorry that my holiday does not really match the tone of any of your holidays. It's more of a day of introspection, the Day of the Forgotten. I'm going to say that it's going to go in June because I feel like that's the last month I always think about. And let's go with the 27th because that's not a very common date to think about either. And if your birthday is on June 27th, I'm sorry. I will not think of it ever. Yes, so the concept for the Day of the Forgotten kind of comes from a Green Day song called The Forgotten. For those of you who don't know, I really love Green Day. They are the only artist I listen to during the entire college application process. So if I get into the university I want, we can thank Green Day and Mr. Billy Joe Armstrong himself. So, the Day of the Forgotten. So, the premise of the song is that it sort of describes the average person who lives and they die and they don't get remembered. Because let's face it, in one century, people probably aren't going to remember us. Let's think 10 generations down the line, say however many people come and die. Like, we're not going to be remembered. And this is kind of a day to think about that because let's face it, we're all not going to go down in history as a big name, as a celebrity, as someone who made the biggest impact. All of our names aren't going to be written in a textbook. Eventually, we're going to become statistics, if we even become that. The right tone for it yet, whether it's supposed to be solemn or somber or to celebrate the average people, because you can think, any day is a good day for average people. It's a day in their life. Well, most people don't think that they're an average person. Even if they know it in the back of their heads, they don't look in the mirror and think average. They think and they have hopes and they have dreams. And unfortunately, if your dream is to go down in history as a big name, it doesn't always happen. And so this is going to be a day for all the people who died and who aren't remembered, whose names we don't know, and whose, the graves where the names have been rubbed out because they're just that old. The people who are represented by numbers, people who have died in large masses, so we don't know the individual, we just know how they died or what they were known for as a descriptor. People like that. And then a day of introspection for us who are still living and knowing, hey, we can live a good life without being famous, without going down in history, without making a big enough ripple in the pond to where everyone will know who we are. That's okay. So take of this as the anti-Hamilton. You don't need to make a legacy that will last centuries. You can just enjoy your life, live averagely, be solidly mediocre, mundane, plain and simple. That's okay. And this is a day to remember those who were and to celebrate us for being.
Thank you all for joining us in this episode of the Cowboy Spur. Next week, we will have our student life episode. Until next time, this is the Cowboy Spur signing off.